How's it going, gamers? My name is Rushcode. Recently I learned how to make inputs. So today I'm going to be demonstrating how to do that by placing down flowers and destroying them. The very first thing I want to do is change the project settings. So if you go down to input and add a mapping for the actions, you can type whatever you want. So if I do plant flower, and we'll use F as the input, then make another one for destroying the flower. So I'll say remove flower and use R for that. And that autosaves. So now that we're done with that, I'll set up 3 folders, one for changing the player because we're not going to be using exactly this player, or at least not the same mechanics for it, and just a folder for the objects and materials as well. The player controller is the most complicated part to do here, so I'm going to do that last. I'll set up the materials and objects first. I prepared a bunch of different colors here because what I plan to do is create an array that can randomly generate different flowers. So the next thing I need to do is make the flower object. Also, I realized that with this grid here, it's very hard to figure out where the halfway point is, whether this thing is going through the flow or not. And apparently you can do something here where, yeah, you can show the flow. That makes it so much easier to do. Alright, so that's my flower done, but I want to make it such that when I plant the flower, it will randomly choose a color for the sphere on top. So I make an array that contains all those different materials that I had before. So the idea is that when I place a flower down now, it'll either be blue, red, or yellow. So I need to make a blueprint that'll tell the flower to do that upon creation. So this little guy over here is white at the moment, but once I run this game, it should give me a different color. Ah, there you go. So it's red. If I run it again, it gives me yellow. So now that I've randomized that, all I need to do is make a controller for this player, which allows him to place down the flowers or destroy them. So let's go do that now. Okay, so the idea is when this runs and my player plants a flower, it'll take half his height, which is where the center of this player is, and minus that off to put down where the flower should be on the ground. So if I run this now, it should work. Nope. Okay, it's not working. Let's see. Well, it's casting the third-person character, getting the control pawn. Flower controller. So I need to change the game mode base, which I think is in blueprints under here. Yeah. Okay, so this needs to be based on my controller, not the player controller. So if I hit compile on that and run, it should work. Oh, there we go. So there is a bit of an issue with planting these flowers. We can see that the colors are working as they expect, but something weird is happening with the collision physics here. So just to make things a bit easier for me, I can either disable the collision, which I don't like doing, so I'd rather just affect the X value. In other words, all it's going to end up doing now is being placed maybe 100 units in front or something like that. And now the flowers are just placing in front of me. So now that I can place flowers, I need to be able to remove them. So what this blueprint will do is find all the actors, all the flowers. I should put that in here, flowers. Yep. So it'll find all the overlapping flowers with the capsule component of the player and loop through all of them and delete everything that's overlapping. So if I hit compile and run, put on some flowers, and maybe I'll go up to this red and blue one over here, hit R, and oh, nothing happens. Okay, I think that's because I need a collision box. That's right. So if I go back to my flower, I need to make a collision box for this. That's easy enough. Box collision, which I've learned is a bit different from making a cube, because, you know, what's the difference between this thing over here, a cube, and a collision box? Well, turns out that a box collision thing has a built-in collision mechanic, like a physics thing that calculates if things are overlapping in other things. Whereas with cubes, they're literally just meshes, I guess is what they call them, and that means they're just geometry. There's no brains in them, basically, let's put it that way. Whereas with box collisions, there are some brains in it. It's kind of similar to the box trigger event thing over here. I don't really know how this one works, but it's different for depending on whether you want to build it in the world or whether you want to build a new blueprint class. So with this guy over here, I think that box is big enough. Hit compile, play, and it should work. So I'll put down some flowers. Okay, here we go. So red and blue. Stand in between, hit R, done. Okay, for some reason it doesn't work on all of them together. I'm not sure why, but if you just hit it a few times, it'll do the job just fine. I can even remove this one here that I placed by default in the world itself. You can even customize the size of the flowers or whatever object you want to make, just depending on how you want to spawn it in and using some of those random nodes. But yeah, this is really cool because now I know how to actually put things in the world and remove them as well, which is a really, really useful mechanic when it comes to making games, right? You want to be able to interact with your world. I can put it up here on this box as well, or I can remove it. This does take me one step closer to trying to make something like a simple version of Minecraft. That was one of the things on my list. I even have textures for it now as well that I made myself, so it's just a matter of time, I think, before I figure out how to make a simple version of Minecraft using UE4. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this in the future, then tap the notification bell and click subscribe to join the channel. Thanks for watching, have a good one guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.